watching Thread Life with Belle. Her live show is starting soon. Quilting, teaching, sewing, making lovely things. Come on and join us. It's almost time for Thread Life with Belle. Yeah, I said the live show is starting soon, so keep your YouTubes tuned to Thread Life with Belle, with Belle, with Belle. On YouTube starting very soon, so stay tuned, Belle is getting ready for you. Quilting, teaching, sewing, making lovely things. Come on and join us. It's almost time for Thread Life with Belle. Yeah, I said the live show is starting soon, so keep your YouTubes tuned to Thread Life with Belle. Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life, Thread Life with Belle, starting soon.
Happy Friday, quilty friends. Welcome to Thread Life with Belle here in my Seam Sew Me studio in the Ouachita National Forest in Arkansas. Hello, Angela. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Good afternoon. I hope it's sunny where you are. We had a lot of rain the last several days, and it was cold, and the sun is out yesterday and today, and it will be for the next 10 days, so I'm really happy. Belle does better when there's sun. All right, let me know who's joining today with me. We are going to make easy fabric butterflies. I made these butterflies for my booth at Quilt Market to decorate out of one of my prints in my collection called Flutterby. And so I thought, you know what, I'll do a tutorial so you guys can make them. You could use them for baby showers. You can attach them and make them as garland. I actually just have them pinned throughout my studio over where my plants are, the ones that I'd made for Quilt Market. And you can make them in all different sizes. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that today. I'm going to give you the option to show you if you have AccuQuilt. You can cut the circles quick and easy if you have the cutter. If you don't, then I'm going to show you, you can just use anything that you have circles, bowls, cups, anything like that. You can make them that way too without buying anything extra. So, hey, Melinda. Hey, Misty. Hello, hello, hello. I'm glad you're here. Melinda, are you new or have you joined me before? I know I've got a lot of new subscribers since Quilt Market. A lot of people joined the channel after Quilt Husband did 3 live shows at Quilt Market, so you guys could see what that was all about. He'll be doing that again in February at Quilt Con in Raleigh, and then again in Chicago at the trade show there, which is like Quilt Market but better. And it's even got other fibers there too, like yarn and all kinds of other fibers besides just quilting stuff. So anyway, make sure you hit the like button if you don't mind. It helps people find my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, if you're here for the first time, I would love for you to do so. So we do a lot of different things here. I will do videos that I just upload that I've recorded for you all to watch anytime. And then I try to do a live every week as well. And we kind of, you know, you get to see the mistakes and all. We chit chat just a little bit while we're making things. Sometimes I show you some behind the scenes stuff. And if you are a Thread Life with Belle Threadmaster member. Threadmaster member is where you pay a few bucks a month and you get extra special videos that other people don't get access to some free patterns and some tutorials. You get to see my fabric collections before anyone else does, before the public does. So if that's something you're interested in to support the channel, you can join as a Threadmaster member there on my homepage. Hey, Melinda, so you've watched a few times? Oh, great. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here again. Angela, you were in Little Rock all week till last night. Okay. you're back in Louisiana now. Well, thank you for being here with me today. So before we get started on these cute little butterflies that are, this is going to be a quick one, you guys. I've actually got 2 different sizes cut so we can make 2 different sizes. Hey, Susan. Hey, Cloudy Bremerton. We had that earlier in the week. Sorry about that. I know it's tough to have that. I want to show you a couple fun things that I've been doing. Well, something that I've done behind the scenes this week, because I'm going to an art camp next week. It's called Lucky Star Art Camp. It is in the hill country of Texas. So I'm flying into San Antonio, and then I take a shuttle for about an hour to get to Lucky Star Art Camp. It's in Hunt, Texas. And you learn how to do whatever you want to sign up for. So let me tell you what I'm taking. I'm taking welding. I'm going to learn to weld little flower roses, like are on a stem. It filled up last year, so I didn't get to take that class. I'm going to take a whisk broom class. I'm going to take a botanical skincare class. We get to make our own skincare system out of organic botanicals. And then I'm taking 2 beading classes to make bracelets. So I'm really excited about that. Well, at Lucky Star Art Camp, you guys can go to the website. It's just luckystarartcamp.com. If you love to do those kind of things, it's for women. We literally stay at a kids camp that's basically closed because summer's over, and it's rented out just for this camp. This is, I think, year 14 they've had it. This is my 2nd year to attend, and it's just so fun. These women, all of us get along, everyone gets along. There's not that catty, competitive kind of culture at all. I don't thrive or do well, and I don't like those environments. And everyone is just very loving and kind, and we have a lot of fun. Well, the last night we're there, which will be next Saturday night, it's themed. So they pick a theme. Last year was cowgirls and aliens. This year is homecoming. And so you come up with some kind of costume or outfit for that last night. We have dinner and you get to show all the things you've made and all that fun stuff. Well, I'm going as a cheerleader. So I got this cheerleader outfit. So the top and the skirt are all connected. And so I've got to make a couple of alterations. It's actually a little bit too big. So I'm going to have to take it in on the sides because it's a little too big for me. It's going to be 80 degrees there. So no problem wearing short sleeve. And then I've got some biker shorts to wear underneath it because there's a dance party too. We all dance and stuff. So this is the color. And I'm actually going to be redoing the letters to just where it says Lucky because it's already got the stars on it. So it goes with Lucky Star Art Camp. So I'm going to change that there. But what I made yesterday afternoon was my very first mum. I've never made a homecoming mum before. And so this is it. I used my new fabrics, some of my fabrics, to actually match the cheerleading uniform. And I left one of them with my selvage on there that says the name of my new collection. So I had a lot of fun with that. Let me show it to you over at the pressing station. Actually, it's a lot better view of a camera over here. So can y'all see that? So I had all of this was vintage rickrack, and I had some ribbon and the little pom-poms, and then there's my selvage there. So anyway, it was my very first mum, which I was really super excited about, and it'll be pinned on. I've never made one. It'll be pinned on with my uniform. Isn't that fun? Yeah, super fun. So I did that last night. So there's some gold star stickers coming from Amazon. I've got to attach those down here. They'll be out the area here. So anyway, that's what I have been working on. I've got to make some alterations to the dress. Let me put this aside, or to the cheerleading uniform. So that'll be fun. The other thing I have to show you, y'all know Quilt Husband is a really good husband. He actually picks out and buys a lot of my clothes. I don't love clothes shopping. I did when I was younger. I don't love to do it now, and he's really good at it. So sometimes he'll just have bought me stuff, and I have to show you what he got. So these are PJs, and they're sewing PJs. So it's got the sewing machine. It's modal cotton, so it's really soft. So it's got all your sewing machines on there, and your scissors, your spools of thread, all of the notions are on here. Isn't that fun? Yeah, the brand is Nick and Nora. Nick and Nora, and it's modal, 95% modal, and a little bit spandex, 5%. Super comfortable. So yeah, Quilt Husband, he sometimes comes home with, well, lots of times he comes home with some really good stuff for me. So Nick and Nora, PJs by Nick and Nora, yeah, he put those on there. He found these new on eBay for me because I don't think they're printed anymore. He's one of those guys that can just find things like this, and for me it takes hours. So anyway, yeah, isn't that fun? Okay, let's get started on our little fabric butterflies, okay? So these are made out of my Flutterby print. So I think I'm out of the yellow right now, but I've got the teal and the pink. So let me show you over here at this camera. The teal and the pink, you can see both of those there. Flutterby, and they're all in different directions. Now again, this collection ships to shops in March. It's a spring collection, and you might want to check with your local quilt shop. Hey Trish, welcome. You might want to check with your local quilt shop to see if they are going to be ordering, or tell them you want them to order Montgomery Mountain Charm, because the reps are doing all those orders now, and then it gets to shops in the spring for you to make all kinds of fun spring things. So the little butterflies would be perfect for that. And it also comes in a yellow. It's just I've used all the yellow of this these half yard cuts up. All right, so what are you going to need? Really just fabric circles and tomato twine and your sewing machine. And you'll also need something to make round circles with, to cut out round circles. So a couple of options for you. This is just a little bowl that I have, and you can lay out your fabric in a circle, and you would just trace it with some type of marking pen that you can see, trace it around there, and you'll cut out the circle. All right. And for this little one here, this is going to be the body, and this will be kind of the bottom of the body there. You could use this. This is like the round part of my pin cushion here. So just whatever kind of sizes you want to do, you can do those together. And then there's also the larger. So I'm going to do a larger butterfly. We're going to make two of them kind of at the same time. I'm going to fold them all. She had to fold them, pin them. We're going to sew them all at the same time, and we'll have a small and we'll have a large one. Okay. So the other option for you is if it's something that, so these dies with AccuQuilt are good if you like to make Dresdens, if you want to make something this like butterflies like this, if you want to make yo-yos. So are y'all familiar with yo-yos? These are yo-yos, and I've just recently learned how to start making these. You can see them here. There's all different sizes, and it comes with, you can make these if you want, but if you've got the AccuQuilt, you could cut your circles so that you don't start with squares and kind of have to trim around it. You could also use it for that. So there's a lot of different things you can use this for. Do y'all have AccuQuilt at all? If you don't, you make these just with the bowls and all of that stuff. But I did want to let you know, if you have AccuQuilt, I cut these with my AccuQuilt dies. So one of your options is this one to make smaller butterflies. So this would be kind of the top of the butterfly. This would be the bottom. Or this would be the top of the butterfly. This would be the bottom. So this is the smaller one. This will go through the Go Me, which is the small cutter that you just wind with your hand. And I'll show you that one. And they're linked, these are linked down below. So this is the Go Me. This one is the travel size. And I take this when we like go camping or maybe go to a cabin or whatever. And I will take my whole bin. I have this entire scrap bin here of my new collection from when I was making stuff for market. I'll be taking these with me. We're gonna have a little cabin getaway the end of December. And I'm gonna take all these and I'm gonna cut all my EPP shapes out of these, because it's kind of hard. There's some, some things are just really small and you can't do a ton with, but there's enough to get EPP shapes out of. So I love the Go Me. It's also budget friendly if you only really think you're gonna use it for small things. So this die right here is the 6-inch die, and it just goes right through there. And my EPP shapes, if you like English paper piecing, same thing, this works for that. So that is one option for you. The other option is the Go Big, which is electric. And I have that one, and that is for the larger dies. So this die here has 4 different circles, and we are using let me see which one this one. This has got 4, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm using a 7 and then also a 6. So it's these 2 right here that I've used on this die. And a great way to use up scraps, again, really helpful. Pot holders. I mean, there's just a lot that you can do with this. And so this is what this one looks like on here. And I actually used a permanent marker and wrote what size circles those are. So I wanted to let you know some options on how you can cut these. If you've got AccuQuilt, those are the dies. And then if you don't, or you don't want to get that, you can use something round to be able to cut your circles. All right. Okay, so we're going to set our tomato twine out of the way. Angela, you've got the AccuQuilt Big and you love yours. Don't you, dies? You have both of these circles. Okay, great. Well, Angela, you've got what you need then to be able to mix and match all different kinds of sizes. So you're ready to go with that for sure. And for those of you that aren't sure what the Go Big looks like, this is the Go Big here. It folds up like this, and it sets up on its side like this, and it's electric. And so this just kind of folds out like this, and you pass that big die through here. There's a little button you press, and then it comes out here on the other end. And so that's super handy. You can do up to 6 layers with this. So I really, 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 really like that a lot. So I'm just going to scoot that out of the way. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take all of these over to the, well, I say I'm going to take them over to the pressing station. I'm going to press them really quick, and I'm going to put some starch on them just to kind of give them a little bit more stability. But we're going to press these, and then we're going to actually do some folding and a little bit of pinning. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pin cushion over there, and then we'll sew all these all at once. So again, I've just decided what sizes I wanted. This is the top of the butterfly. This is going to be the bottom. This is going to be the top, and this is going to be the bottom here. So I'm just going to starch these a bit. Get them nice and flat and smooth. These are all scraps of my Montgomery Mountain Charm that I had from when I was making stuff for Quilt Market. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to fold our circles in half, pretty sides together. Okay. Fold them in half, pretty sides together. I'm going to go ahead and give mine a press. And then you're going to want to pin it just to keep it in place, to keep it from shifting, because we're going to be sewing 1/4 inch along the edge of those. And the smaller the circle, you know, the smaller the hole you're going to have at the top to pull it through. So I don't like to go really any smaller than this size right here, which I think this might be that might be the 3 inch. I'd have to look and see. We're going to pin it, keep that in place there. So those go together. And it's funny because you're like, how do these butterflies go together? I would not have thought they were made with circles, but they are. So we'll just pin that one. And again, right sides together. There was a little bit of selvage left here, but that's okay, because you're not going to see that when we actually construct it. So we will press that and then pin. And then we're going to take these over to the sewing machine, and we're going to give these a stitch. Okay, I'm going to kind of keep these together so I don't get lost. Trish said scan and cut would work. Yep, scan and cut. Cricut would also be another one that you could use too. I'm going to put on my patchwork foot because that will give me the 1/4 inch, and it will stay right up along the edge of the curve. We are sewing around a curve here, so where's my thread? There we go. Okay. So we're just going to sew right along the edge. Got my lock stitch on so it will lock when I start off. And we're just gonna just kind of come around that curve. You kind of have to go slow, especially on this small one. I'm gonna take out that pen. And then mine is gonna lock. I have that lock stitch setting on there. So we're just gonna sew around there about a quarter. Whoops, you know what I did wrong? We're supposed to leave an opening. So you need to leave, this smaller one, you're not gonna be able to leave as big of an opening, but leave about an inch opening there. So I'm gonna have to kind of go back and reinforce those edges right there. We'll do a back stitch. Okay, so I forgot to tell y'all, make sure that you leave an opening there for that because we've got to turn that right side out. Trim those threads off. Okay, we'll put that one aside. We're going to do the same thing for the top of it, and I'm going to, let me grab my pencil and mark that. I'm one of those, if I don't mark, then I will forget. So we're going to mark it up here at the top. And I'm going to do about 1.5 inches on that. I'm going to go ahead and do it on all these. This one you can have a larger opening because it's much larger piece. All right, now let's go ahead and stitch this. What are y'all working on today? Anything fun? We are supposed to have sunny weather the entire weekend, actually all the way for 10 days. But when I go to Texas next week, it's supposed to be 80. So I'm getting ready to do my closet swap where I put up my summer and my spring and just have my winter and fall. And I'm gonna have to leave out a few things for that hot weather down there. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with these other pieces here. We're just gonna make both of these at once. Just gonna come around those corners there. Kind of have to pivot sometimes just a little bit. Let your presser foot come up, not pivot, but let your presser foot come up just a bit. Do a lock stitch. And we're gonna pick right back up where I drew that line. I think these butterflies would be cute for garland for a baby shower. I haven't thrown a baby shower before, but that's kind of what came to mind for me on these. Or if you're given a gift for a baby shower, instead of doing a bow, I think these would be beautiful to have these fabric bows instead of like, you know, a regular bow for giving a gift. Hello, Josie from Italy. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We are making fabric butterflies. If you just joined us, they're super easy. You just cut out circles, one a little bit bigger than the other, fold them in half, pretty sides together, and then we just sew a 1/4 inch down, and we leave an opening about 1.5 inches, except on that really teeny small one. We have to have a better, a smaller size opening there. Okay, now we are just gonna turn these right side out. So we're just gonna use our fingers here and just kind of gently put those through. And you're going to want to use a point turner or a chopstick to poke all of those corners out really nicely. So this is our larger one that we're working on. And then we'll be taking these over to the pressing station and really pressing these really nicely. And I usually have to take my chopstick with me really to try to keep this curve happening. Turn out the other one here. What do you guys think you would use these for? What would you make them for? I'm curious to know. Those were the two things that came to my mind. So I have them right now hanging from one of my planters over here, but garland for a baby shower, and instead of bows, use these on your gifts. I think would be fun. The garland like in a little girl's room if they like butterflies. This is the Wildflower Dreams fabric, which is kind of little baby color there. What'd you say?
Applique for the quilt, maybe?
I think that would be difficult to sew those to a quilt and wash them. They would probably lose their shape. Is that your idea? That's Quilt Husband's idea. Good try, Quilt Husband. So you could do it for a wall quilt, absolutely. I think if you were going to put these on a quilt that was going to be washed, I think your butterflies would probably lose their shape. But it would be great on an art quilt, like flowers, like if you made a wall hanging for your porch or something, and you had the butterflies and you weren't going to be washing it. Okay, this is the one that's a little harder to turn right side out because it's really little. So this is why I tend to not go smaller than this round one here. I just have to use my chopstick to try to turn that one right side out. You know, I have, speaking of the scan and cut, Trish, I have the Cricut, and I'm ashamed to say I've only used the Cricut for one purpose, which is what I bought it for. And when I was making, I used to make these little fabric pins. You guys have probably seen them over here. I used to make these pins, okay? And I made them where they had different button faces to them. There's little cats and all that. And the packaging that I used the Cricut to make little flowers that I glued, super glued to the packaging for decoration. I never got around to using it to cut fabric or applique shapes. I never really taught myself how to do that. I'm sure it's not hard, but okay, we got that little one turned out. This is going to be a baby butterfly, the bottom of that one for sure. Okay, we're going to take these over to the pressing station and we're going to press these. And the important part of this is to make sure that we press it to where the curve is there. And that's why sometimes I have to use the chopstick to really make sure that that seam is really nice and folded out so that it doesn't have kind of little wonky edges there. And then we're going to fold this under 1/4 of an inch. And this is where it can get just a little tricky to, and this is going to be scrunched. So this is going to be scrunched down like this. So it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? So don't fret over that because that's going to be hidden, which is totally fine. But try to get it as smooth as you can.
Trish said she would use one as a ponytail holder.
A ponytail holder. Oh, that's a good idea.
Jessie said she's going to use one for her granddaughter's baptism keepsake.
Oh, okay. Those are great ideas. Great ideas. Yeah, and I don't know, they're just so cute, and they're a great way to use scraps. So we've got one there. Get that folded all the way. And if you don't have it like perfect, it's okay, because this is going to be scrunched down, okay, y'all? So don't worry about it. But you do want to try to keep these, I use that stick there just to kind of keep that curve as smooth as I can. There's so many things you can do with scraps. It's unbelievable. Like that mum, that was all from scraps that I had in working with the fabric for the last couple months. And I don't know, I call these little projects like this palette cleansers, because sometimes you just need little small things to work on and do between like big quilts and stuff. And you know, we do have tons of scraps, right, that end up in the landfill if we don't use them. So, and I find that this opening on curves is just a little bit more finicky than when you're closing up one that's like a straight line. So just do the best you can on it. I am a recovering perfectionist. The older I've gotten, the less I try to be perfect. But it was too stressful. It caused too much anxiety. So we're going to tuck that one in. This one's a little harder to maneuver, but just be patient. There we go. That one goes with that one, and then one more here. Honestly, I think that the pressing is probably the part that takes the longest with these. One more opening here. All right. Now we're going to take this back to the sewing machine, and we are going to sew, a top stitch all the way around, and it's going to close up, of course, our hole there. And what do I have mine on? 2.6. Let me reduce my stitch length. I'm going to reduce that to a 2.2. We're just going to kind of turn that all the way around. Close up our opening. Oh, you like those pins, Trish? Yeah, well, this was me like thinking, oh, back when I first started quilting, I was like, I don't like regular pins. I don't like just the ones with the little ball heads, you know? And I was like, you know, my slogan is make lovely things, and I like to have lovely notions. So I got all these wooden buttons and decided to make pins, and partly is because in the studio at the time, I was in an extra bedroom of our house when we lived in Missouri. And, you know, I didn't have a lot of space, but we had carpet in there. And when I would drop those little pins, I couldn't really see them very well. My eyes have gotten kind of worse with time. And you couldn't see them in the carpet. And I was like, I need bigger pin heads. So anyway, I came up with that. So I used to make them and sell them, but then I got tired of it and stopped when I started this business. And there were so many other things to do. So anyway, I don't have them anymore, but I still have some of those left over. But that was what I bought my Cricut for. See, this goes a lot faster, the top stitch on these larger circles there. We got one more, and then we'll assemble. Whoops. Are y'all going to make large ones or small ones? Butterflies, do you think? After I'm done with this tutorial, this live show, I actually am in the middle of working on my next 2 quilt patterns for my next fabric collection. And I have to have the mock-up and the fabric requirements due to Benartex by December the 8th. So I've got to get those 2 initial things done. I've already got the patterns designed. I designed my patterns in EQ8, but I've got to work on some other things with that and get those sent off before I take the last 3 weeks off of the year. So the December 15th all the way through that first Monday in January, and I want to have that done so I'm not having to mess with that during that time. I just do fun sewing during that time. Okay, so what you're going to need, you need an 8-inch piece of tomato twine, and then you're going to need a 4 to 5 inch. I did a 5-inch for the larger butterfly I'm going to make, and I did a 4-inch for the smaller. That's for the antenna. That's for these. So you actually need 2 pieces of tomato twine for this part here, okay? So we are going to put our curves together, okay? So you're going to put them just like this. And you're going to fold accordion style through the middle. So just kind of accordion style, bunch those up all the way down through the middle of the butterfly. Like this. Okay, it's going to look like that. And then you are going to take your tomato twine and leave just a little bit out. Let me zoom in here. You're going to leave just a little bit loose right here. And you're going to wrap it about 3 times. All right. 3 times right there. Whoops. All right. And then you're going to take your 4-inch piece of tomato twine, and this is going to be in the front. You're just going to lay it on top there. And you're going to pull this around one more time. All right. And then we're going to tie it in the back, those 2 ends. So just tie those down in the back. And if you feel like it's too short for you and you need a little bit longer to work with, then you can cut yours longer. So you'll tie that knot there, double knot it in the back. You could also use ribbon, I think, if you wanted, but I feel like the tomato twine has a little bit more stability to it. Okay, and then we need to look for our antenna. So here's our, whoops, y'all, just Just disregard what I just did. Just disregard it. We didn't add the bottom to it. Sorry, it's Friday. It's been a long week. Okay, let's do that again, y'all. Do over. Okay. Fold it like this and grab your bottom one and do the same. So your bottom one, you're going to do accordion as well. Then we're going to wrap with our twine. So it's going to look like this. Okay, you see that there? Okay, now we're going to put our twine on there and we're going to wrap it around a couple times. Put your antenna there in the front and then tie those 2 loose ends in the back. All right. Good grief. Poor little butterfly. It's like, where's my bottom? It's like, something's wrong with this. It's been a long week. Okay, there we go. So tie a double knot there and we'll cut that off in the back. Then you've got your antenna right here. So you're going to go ahead and tie just 1 knot. This is going to keep your antenna in place. So just 1 knot there for your antenna. Like that. And then you can tie little knots at the very, very end of it. If your tomato twine doesn't come unraveled. I'm going to grab my tweezers. I don't like to waste my tomato twine. So, but you may want to cut yours a little bit longer if you don't want to mess with pulling that through. There we go. And you'll just pull the little knot all the way to the end of it right there. So you can see there's a little knot there at the end. And we'll do it on the other end too. I think I accidentally grabbed the 4-inch one for this larger one. And then we'll just pull that knot all the way to the end there. And then you grab your little antenna. And just kind of maneuver it where you like it. There you go. There's your butterfly with your little antenna. Isn't that cute? This one's quite a bit bigger than the ones I made for market. You can see the size here. So this is with the larger ones. This is with the smaller one. And you do the same exact thing. We'll do the same exact thing again. We'll put our 2 sides together. Now I'll say the smaller ones are a little bit more difficult. This bottom actually, I think I cut this one a little bit smaller than that one, if I remember correctly. We'll bunch those up. This one, there's not a lot of folding to the bottom one on this one. So we'll bunch that one up. Take our twine and wrap that around a couple of times. And then get our antenna. Put your antenna there. And then go ahead and wrap that around one more time. Oops. And tie it on the back. And we'll trim off the extra twines that are here on the back. These are little babies, little baby butterflies. Let's get our antenna pulled up here to the top, and we'll tie the knots in the top of those, and then we'll trim off the extra in the back. Are you gonna make these tonight, Josie, with your scraps? Yeah, that'll be fun. And most people, I don't know, if you've got a garden, you've got tomato twine. I like the natural look of the tomato twine. I don't know. But you could use ribbon if you don't have any. We have quite a bit because I plant a garden, so. Okay, we've got that double knot on the back, so let me get my scissors and we're gonna snip off the extra back here. And we'll adjust our little antenna. This is a baby one. It's so cute. Look how little it is. It is a little more finicky with the bottom part of that butterfly there. Look at that. Isn't that darling? Those little antennae are so cute. Let's make this one a little more even. But you might need to use a pair of tweezers. I mean, if you don't mind wasting, you know, but I tend to do around 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches for that. So here they are. So there's your big one. There's your daddy, there's your mama, there's your baby. You've got 3 of them here. There you go. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make these. Super easy. And this one, you can see you can actually vary if you want the bottoms to be a little smaller. This circle I made a little closer. Excuse me, it was just maybe, I don't know, 1 size down from this one. I can't remember. So you can decide. You know, the various size of your circles that you combine will cause this to be a little bit different. And, you know, you could do all the same fabric. You could do, with this, I did the same color palette in this one. Let me come over to the other camera because I find that this camera is a little more clear. You can see here, I used the Flutterby in the 2 lighter pinks together. But then this one, we did some contrast. We made the top part of the butterfly a lot larger than the bottom part, but I still used the teal print in the bottom so that, you know, it's still kind of matched. Let's get his little antenna there. And then this one, you can see these are close in size, but this is still a size smaller for that. So that's it. But you could, I think you could put all of these on, like if I wanted to have more tomato twine or ribbon or lace, and then just make a garland where they're all kind of connected. I think I would probably do the same size. You could rope that through the back somehow if you wanted to string that along. I think it would be super cute. You even could, let me show you, I've got some bunting left from when I did my booth. And what I did on these was I clipped them. Let me get little baby clips and show you. I clipped these on the bunting. So this was how I used these in the booth. So this says Montgomery, this whole bunting thing here. And I actually have these little bitty teeny, you can get these on Amazon, they're wooden clothespins. And I just clipped them. I think I did it down here. Let me move this up. I clipped it on one of its little wings to the bottom right there. So it was just dangling from one of the buntings is how I did that. You could probably sew these if you wanted on there. That would be kind of cute to sew them to. This is burlap that I used. If I didn't have this letter on here and you made bigger butterflies, wouldn't that be cute? If you didn't want it to really say anything, you could actually attach those either with a needle and thread, or you could with your sewing machine just go through and tack those down there if you wanted. So just a lot of different things you can do with these, and it is such a great way to use up your scraps because we always have them. I have bins full of them. I use the potato bins full of them. So there you go. Yeah, that's what we got. Aren't they cute? I'm doing a giveaway today, y'all. We haven't done one in a while, and part of that is because when I was getting ready for Quilt Market, I wasn't doing as many lives, and then I've done, I guess, one, earlier this week? What did I do? Monday? No, it was last week. Oh, I did the fabric flowers. So if you didn't see the fabric flower tutorial, my live was on how to do fabric flowers, also with your scraps, just little bitty teeny strips so you guys can see that one. And then if you didn't see, I did the luggage tag tutorial yesterday. So you can make your own luggage tags out of scraps. So last week and this week are all about your scraps, using these up. And this comes with the free inserts. So if you look on the tutorial from yesterday, there's an insert you can print out, and it's a privacy luggage tag so people can't see all your information. So I'm getting ready to travel next week, so I did 4 of these. So go check that out if you guys missed them. Okay, let's do a giveaway today. We are going to give away a free pattern. This is called Camino, and this is a designer that I met. Let's see, where was I? H&H Americas, and she sent me with a bunch of these to do giveaways from time to time. So let's do one. I've already picked my number. So let's pick a number between 1 and 20. And remember, I'm going to see your number first before the rest of you do, because there's about an 18-second delay. So whoever enters in the number I've written down on this pad first, you will get this free quilt pattern. I'll mail it to you. The key is you need to make sure that you email me your mailing address. If you're not a Threadmaster member, for Threadmaster members that belong to that special membership of this channel, I have all of that, okay? But for those of you that don't, I probably don't have your mailing address. So if you end up winning, you'll want to email that to belle@seamsome.com, belle@seamsome.com. All right, I'm starting to see numbers. Nobody's got it yet. Put your number in the chat, and you will win this pattern. I'll mail off to you. It'll go out in the morning, so I'll pop it in the mail out here in my mailbox, and she'll pick it up tomorrow. Keep on a-guessing. Oh, I'm glad you like them, Susan. I think they're adorable too. And they're not hard. They're a little finicky the smaller you get, but I think they're really fun. Man, you guys haven't gotten it yet. Between 1 and 20. And this is for United States. Just, I know someone's here from Italy. Oh, you got it, Melinda. You got it. It's number 2. It's the number 2. Yeah, because of out-of-state shipping and all of that stuff. Actually, my husband, it wasn't even something he bought. He was charged a tariff, like $150 for something little. And it wasn't even like, it was a repair kind of situation. So anyway, congratulations, Melinda. If you'll just email me your mailing address, belle@seamsome.com, I'll pop this in the mail to you tomorrow. So congratulations. Thanks for hanging with me today, y'all. Appreciate it so much. And from time to time, what I will do for those that are international watchers from far away, I'll do a free giveaway that's a pattern that I will email you. So I have a few little patterns that are ones that are PDFs, and so I'll send those. So I'll do that from time to time as well, okay? All right, friends. Well, that is all for Thread Life with Belle on this Friday. Thanks for joining me here in my studio and learning to make your little butterflies. If you make them and you post them on Instagram or Facebook, make sure you tag me over there. I'd love to share them with other people. And feel free to share this tutorial. Just forward it on your social media to your friends, and maybe they'll want to make some of them too. All right, quilty friends. Well, I think that's all. Let me make sure I've answered everybody's questions and see if we've got anything here in the chat. Don't forget to like the video today if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I look forward to seeing you. Now, I'm leaving for art camp, so I'll be gone all next week. But the week after that, when we come back, guess what I'm going to show you how to make? A pie carrier. So if you know me, you know I make homemade pies for all of my quilt retreat guests that come. I always make a pie and deliver that to my quilt retreaters. And I have like a Pyrex carrying case that I use. But I was like, you know what? I want to make some out of my fabrics. And I plan to use this print here. This is my Washita stripe. And I'm really excited to use it because it looks like the ticking on old mattresses. So it's like the vintage, kind of the vintage farmhouse style. So I think this is what I'm going to use. But I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make those not next week, but the week after. So you guys will see the thumbnail. Just hit the notification button to remind you of when I'm going live, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks. All right, quilty friends. Well, thanks for joining me today, and until next time, make lovely things. Bye, y'all.